Hi, welcome back again. Today we'll be looking at basics of rigging. So remember, click on our YouTube channel so you can always be updated anytime we drop a video. So right about now, let's dive into what we have today. When we talk about basics of rigging, there are basically two types of rigging. So we have the chain rigging and then also we have the wire rigging. So let's talk about the chain rigging. Chain rigging is also well suited for high temperature, um, rough rolls and repetitive lifts under harsh conditions. So change links can be inspected, repaired, tested and recertified. We have synthetic good for protecting finished surfaces. For wire rope, which is common, lowest cost per ton for lifting capacity. We have mesh, excellent for lifting objects that are hard or have sharp edges. Now, mesh sling enhances load balancing due to wide load bearing surfaces. What to look for when inspecting synthetic slings. Now, mixing or illegal sling identification, these are part of what you should look out for. Two is cut gauges around of extensive fiber breakage along the length and abroad areas on the rope. Now, uniform fiber breakage along the major part of the length of the rope in the sling such that the entire rope appears covered with folds or whiskers. Fiber breakage or melted fiber inside the sling that appears along the length at the same relative position and involves damage estimated at 10% of the fiber in the strand at that point. We have discoloration and brittle or stiff areas on any part of the sling. Foreign materials or matter that has permanent or permeated the rope and attracts and holds grips. Now we have the kinks, distortion or other damage in the rope structure, melted or charred areas that affect more than 10% of the diameter of the rope or affect several adjacent strands along the length to more than 10% of their individual diameters. Now, poor condition of thimbles or other fitting manifested by corrosion, cracks, distortion, or localized wear. Now, other conditions that cause doubt as the continued use of the sling. So, these are what it looks when inspecting synthetic sling. Take note of this. Now, we continue on this particular aspect. So, you can see synthetic sling. You can also see an examples on how it looks like when it's getting damaged. Now, what to look for when inspecting wire rope slings. Now, broken wire, several localized abrasion or scrapping. We have kinting, crushing, bird caging, or any other damage to the rope structure. Evidence of heat damage, crushed, deformed, or worn end attachments. We have severe corrosion of the rope end attachment or fittings, missing or illegal sling identification, other conditions that cause doubt as to continual safe use of the sling. Wire rope, so we have the barricading, severe abrasion, corrosion, and kinks. Now, what to look for when inspecting chain sling? Where defective weight, nicks, cracks, breaks, gauges, stretch, bends, discoloration due to excessive heat, excessive pitting or corrosion, throat opening of hook, mixing or illegible chain identification, other conditions that cause doubt as to continued safe use of the chain. Chain slinge: one link ends, bent links, corroded links. So bent, twisted, stretched hook. So you can see all of this. Now, what to look for when inspecting mesh slinge. So these are what you are expected to look for when inspecting mesh. So broken wires in any part of the mesh, as well as other conditions that cause doubt as to continued use of the sling. Don't forget distortion of the choker fitting so that the depth of the slot is increased by more than 10%. Cracking end fitting must also be considered in this. So these are typical examples of what it should look like. Alright, so we have the corrosion damage, we have the broken joint, we have the distorted end fitting, and as well abrasion, overloaded even load. Yes. So how to determine slinge load from angle changes. From the previous slide, you can, so this is the previous slide. Now you can see that the reading angle greatly affects how much tension is applied to the slinge. Now the ideal angle for the slinge is 90 degree. Method 1: determine the slinge angle and capacity from the chart on the previous slide. Determine the angle factor. For example, for a 5,000 capacity strap at 65 degree, so you would multiply 5,000 by 906. Right, so the answer will tell you that the strap is reduced to a capacity of 4,330. Method 2: determine slinge angle. Determine load weight from the chart on the previous slide as well. You need to determine the factor. For example, again, we have 5,000 with region at a 65 degrees. Now you multiply 5,000 by 1.104. The answer will tell you that the tension on your region is increased to 5,520. Moving on, more on the slinge tension. When determining slinge angles and tension and load weights, remember that you can divide the load by the number of slinge as long as every slinge is the same length and at the same angle. So we have the vertical hinge. So you got vertical hinge. One eye is engaged directly to the load while the other eye is engaged to the hook, and you can also see a typical example of single vertical hinge here. Again, we have the bridle hinge. Alright, so when you look at the left of your screen, you're also going to see how it looks like. So two or more legs coming from one collection point. Then basket hitch. Of course, you can also see the example of it on the screen. So the slinge surrounds the load while each eye is engaged to the hook or above. Now moving on to the next is the choker hinge. Now the slinge is passed around the load and through one eye. The remaining eye is engaged to the hook itself. Again, how angles affect the load. Let's talk about on this a little. The angle at which a slinge is used significantly affects its capacity. Take note of that. Now, it uses the longest reach possible for completing the lift. This will provide the largest angle possible for minimum stress on the slinge. So when properly fitted, it will give you the right result, but if it is wrongly fitted, you will get the wrong result. Angles are affecting chokers. Yes, so angles of choke degree and then rated capacity. So we have over 120 up to 0.21. That is for angles of choke degree, while rated capacity is 100 to 49. Okay, so you can see the picture here. We also have angles affecting baskets and bridle hitches, right? So the method one is fixed on reduction factors. Then we have slings to load angles, and then also we have method two, which is tension factors. So you can see the numbers here. Now we also have hazard recognition, which is, automatically anything hazard is considered as danger or waiting to happen or has happened and we are investigating it. Now check for overhead obstruction or electrical lines. Now in your overhead obstruction and electrical lines, you will consider one designated signal person, inspect region period to use, then verify region with support load. Construct danger tape barricade around lift area or swing radius. Now in this, you must ensure crane or forklift hoist is inspected prior to the use. Now basic signal, we have to make sure you put the remaining into consideration. We have the cable up and down, boom up and down, the telescope in and out, swing left and right, cable up and down, and hold load. Alright, then we have boom up and down and also hold load. Then also we move slowly and you stop everything. Okay, so mobile crane handle signals. Please take a look at the screen and you are going to see all of what and how this is done. If you are looking at a practical steps to go about it, you can simply take a picture of this and demonstrate it on your site. At this point, I want to say thank you once again for joining. In our next video, we'll be looking at more safety, and then we're also going to be talking about a whole lot around everything that has to do with safety. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our other social media handles as well. Give us a like, give us a message if you like what we are doing, so we can continue to provide you this particular service. Alright, thank you. Share, like, comment, and subscribe. We look forward to a wonderful time with you once again.